I'm about to blow your mind. Did you know that enough plastic is thrown away each year to circle the planet Earth 5 times? And as a result, that plastic won't decompose for over 450 years. Can you say environmental cruelty? It's unthinkable. So then we must ask a vital question. How do we go about making plastic disappear? Well, I'm a student, and in class we've been researching plastic's negative impact. It really started to interest me because now I'm aware of how we, not just as a school, but as a community, poison our earth with plastic. For the past month, I have been researching environmental cruelty and problems caused by plastic. Even though I'm not an adult, plastic affects me too, and I have a say in this matter. I probably won't be able to succeed on my own, but I hope that the small action of telling you can lead to a big change, and that my intentions can have an impact. If we band together, we can make a change and end plastic's reign of terror. As I see it, one of the main problems with plastic in South Africa is the plastic containers for groceries. If you go to a grocery store in South Africa and buy maybe a bottle of water and a small bag of sweets, you automatically waste plastic. Well, why? These food products are packaged in plastic instead of another material. After you finish eating them, you probably throw them into a normal garbage can. What happens next? The normal plastic bag and bottle are dumped into a landfill, where they will stay for an enormous amount of time. Now, let's give this term enormous more context. It takes a paper anywhere from 2 to 5 months to decompose completely. It takes an average plastic bottle around 900 years to decompose completely. Almost all of the food you buy in a grocery store is packaged in plastic, and that some plastic packaging goes in the bin is most likely the same week that you actually buy it. This is just shocking because we have to eat every single day, and in big amounts too. This means huge amounts of plastic are tossed away in the waste every day. In every house, in every city, and in every country, on every continent, if you want to buy a lunch or a dinner for a family of 4, you have to buy the chicken in plastic, your drink in plastic, and guess what? Your cutlery comes packaged in plastic too. Most of the people in South Africa buy food and groceries and only throw them away instead of recycling. That can be understood because there aren't a lot of places to recycle in South Africa. The consequences are that instead of reusing a plastic bottle by melting it in the factory, companies and distributors produce more and more plastic, which is harmful for the environment. This means that the distributors of plastic gain more and more money because of the mistakes that we make. If you visit a Woolworths store in South Africa and try to count how many % of the food is packaged in plastic, it'll be really easy. Take a stroll down the produce aisle and find something packaged in plastic. Well, you can't find anything that isn't in plastic, really. Your dairy products, milk, cheese, yogurt, and butter are all packaged in plastic. That's 100%. Your fruits and vegetables, yet again, another 100%. Bakery, which is all the breads and everything that you should bake, the pastries, it's more than 90% of them are packaged in plastic and sold. Your meat, also another 100%. And drinks, thankfully only 60% of them are packaged in plastic, but that's still too much. And that's not even the end of it. Reach the till and I guarantee you that you'll grab a plastic bag to carry your groceries home. People think that recycling is the problem solver. Wrong. If you recycle a plastic bottle, then buy 2 more. It sort of defeats the purpose. Don't you think? Recycling would have been a problem solver if the amount of plastic recycled was bigger than the amount of plastic wasted and produced. We need to stop relying on plastic. What seems like a heaven-sent miracle is actually a man-made monster, and which destroys our Earth. That's when I had an aha moment. Why use plastic? There's other things in this world. Grocery stores in South Africa should pack food in containers made of different materials, like steel, glass, and biodegradable materials. The first thing we would think after applying this solution and making it work is that there will be less plastic waste in the world. Changing the plastic containers, the groceries, would not be such a big problem. Why? We can use paper and biodegradable plastic, which are made out of trees and plants which grow everywhere. because it is generally available. Let's not forget about a really important thing, which is that paper and biodegradable plastic are friendly to the environment and takes a lot less time to decompose. Firstly, the amount of sickness and health issues will dramatically decrease if you cut out plastic. From using plastic, you would develop fatal diseases, one of them being cancer. Not to mention that they can be really hard to cure. Paper, steel, glass, or biodegradable containers don't contain chemicals like plastic does, which can be bad for your body and can generate sickness. After the food is packaged in plastic containers, most likely the chemicals that the plastic contains travel to the food. Then we consume the food that already contains the chemicals and bacteria from plastic. Plastic can arguably be pretty useful, but things like steel and glass last longer. And not only do they not leach and poison into our bodies, but since they are made out of a harder material which does not break easily, they can survive for a longer period of time. That's if you're careful. They're really practical because they can be used for almost any foods and liquids. Plastic is everywhere. You can't escape it. It may seem that way, but cut a few plastic bags, recycle more than you buy, change your containers, and maybe, just maybe, we're looking at a world without what I think is the real monster, plastic.